Many people feel like taxes take up more of their lives than they used to, not always as higher rates, often as fewer deductions, higher payroll taxes, and less room to absorb costs. At the same time, many large fortunes seem remarkably insulated. This isn't about blame, it's about understanding how the tax burden quietly shifted. Let's take this slowly. For the average worker, taxes are highly visible. They show up as payroll deductions, sales taxes, property taxes, and fees tied to everyday necessities. These taxes are difficult to avoid because they're connected to income, consumption, and housing. Over time, even if headline tax rates didn't rise dramatically, the share of income exposed to taxation often did. That's why many people feel the pressure more acutely, even when the system looks unchanged on paper. In earlier periods, tax systems relied more heavily on higher top marginal rates, corporate taxes, and estate and wealth-related taxes. These mechanisms helped absorb risk and fund public infrastructure at the system level. Over time, many of those levers were reduced, narrowed, or restructured. The system didn't disappear, it rebalanced. And when that happened, more responsibility shifted toward wages and consumption. Wealth behaves differently than wages. It's more flexible, more mobile, more easily reclassified. As financial instruments, global markets, and legal structures expanded, wealth gained new ways to defer taxation, convert income into lower taxed forms, and shift exposure across jurisdictions. These strategies are legal, common, and increasingly accessible to those with scale. The result isn't that taxes vanished for the wealthy, but that they became more optional. When revenue from wealth and corporations declines as a share of funding, governments still need to operate. So funding shifts toward what's hardest to move: labor, consumption, and property. This doesn't feel like a dramatic change. It feels like less take-home pay, higher everyday costs, and fewer buffers against disruption. Not because individuals are doing worse, but because the structure changed underneath them. When people say, "It feels like I'm carrying more," they're not imagining it. They're describing a system where taxes became flatter, wealth became more flexible, and everyday earners absorbed more of the load. Understanding this doesn't create division, it creates clarity. If taxes feel heavier than they used to, pause before assuming mismanagement or personal failure. Often, what changed wasn't your behavior, it was where the system chose to collect. Seeing that clearly won't resolve every tension, but it restores orientation, and orientation matters. This channel exists to offer that clarity slowly and without judgment.